Hi guys, and welcome back to episode number 2 today of our APX GP My Team Career Mode. We are here for the Chinese Grand Prix, and of course it is a sprint weekend, the first of the series. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into sprint qualifying, and we are going to be this weekend with none other than Joshua Pearce. At the start of the first sprint qualifying of the season here with Pearce coming down towards turn 1, and for me personally, China is a much more comfortable circuit to drive than Melbourne in Australia, so hopefully we'll be able to get a better result at this particular track. As we come through the first few corners now, we are driving up towards this little hairpin here using some ERS as well as we come down to the end of the first sector. And of course it is a green personal best with the first run of the session for us, climbing up the gears now, coming through an amazing section on the track, sweeping corners left, right, and then into the double left-hander to set ourselves up towards the back straight. And it's going well for us so far, looking very stable. A little kick of oversteer there just unsettles the car, but we're still going well for the moment. Heading down the back straight now, and for me the previous corner, the cambered banking coming onto the straight, is probably the most difficult corner on the track for me to put down the traction without kicking out the rear. But we are loving these last few corners, gaining on a car in front of us, but they won't affect our time. On the run up to the final corner, we negotiate that perfectly on the ERS, and we're up towards the line, and this first lap time gets us all the way up in P8. What a lap that is.
Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow.
At the end of the first part of sprint qualifying, we get bumped down to 14th, but a very important thing is that both APX GP cars make it to sprint qualifying too. As here we are now coming to start our first run of this session. Both cars, Sonny Hayes and Joshua Pearce, both through to SQ2, so we've hit that milestone. Whereas in the last race, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already, we were unable to reach Q2 with any car in the last race. So this is already a good showing from us, as we hope to try and get into SQ3 with at least one of our cars here. And we look like we are having a lot of pace this weekend. The car is suiting this circuit, and we are doing good things, both drivers. Through the double left-hander now, and we have to short shift to get up through the gears with the wheel spin coming to the rears. That is also another tricky corner on the circuit for lighting up the rears if you get a little bit too happy on the throttle, and that nearly made us pay, but we did short shift up the gears. Coming through now towards the back straight, and it's looking all neat and tidy this time as well. Opening up the ERS and about to open DRS as well, and hopefully we'll be able to get somewhere close to the SQ1 lap time. Coming towards the closing of the lap now, and actually something that I've noticed so far that we are very strong at on this circuit, we have a purple sector 1, so we are really excelling at the start of the lap. But the lap time looks like it slightly gets away from us towards the end. Is this going to be good enough for top 10? And it is. It's P10 for Pearce.
So we're expecting rain in about... And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow.
Unfortunately, at the end of the session, we are bumped out of the top 10 in P13 for Pearce. However, we do have one car through to SQ3, Sonny Hayes through in P9. So that is our first Q3 appearance for the team. I know it's sprint qualifying, but nevertheless an amazing achievement. Let's get straight into the race.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Piastri, Yuki Tsunoda, and Russell, Albon, Hulkenberg, Stroll, and Sonny Hayes, Hamilton, Lawson, Joshua Pearce, and Hadjar, Sainz, Doohan, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Fernando Alonso, Antonelli, Gasly, Behrman, and Esteban Ocon lines up at the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Here we are then for the
Radio
sprint.
check, radio check.
It's going to be no pit stops, of course, on the soft tyres all the way through to the end of the sprint. Let's go. We've got 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 and 5. And it's lights out and away we go for the Chinese sprint as we go past an RB car already. Our teammate we're past as well. Lewis Hamilton we get past, and we're looking down the inside of a Mercedes. Not quite there. We do manage to get up to P10 off the start. We're looking up the inside of Lance Stroll perhaps as well, and we have to keep it clean through these first few corners. Very easy to lose a front wing end plate. We lose out actually to Hamilton there as well off the first few corners, and we're bumped down to P11 just ahead of our teammate Hayes, but we go back up the inside of Hamilton trying to make the most of this start. So we're currently back up in P10. Of course, in the sprint no points are rewarded outside of the top 8, so no points currently at the moment. But if we're able to replicate this in the main Grand Prix, this could be our first points of the season. And we lose out again to Hamilton, so we're yo-yoing back and forth here at the start of the opening lap with the Ferrari. Our teammate has been overtaken by Liam Lawson, so Lawson making moves on the opening lap as well. Hayes down to P13, where he started in P9, so it's been a very bad first lap for our teammate. Hopefully he'll be able to pick up some places as we go along. Coming towards the end of the opening lap now, and we are right on the back of that Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. Not quite able to make any moves, but Stroll is looking side by side with Hamilton. A little bit of contact there actually, I believe, off the front wing of Lewis Hamilton. And these two are going absolutely hammer and tongue for it. And we actually have Lawson trying to come round our outside as well. We run him a little bit wide there, trying to maintain P11 for the time being. And we just are able to hold on. But it is a very action-packed start to this sprint, as you would expect. Lower fuel, no worries about tyre life. But coming towards the end of lap 2 now, Lawson is having another little sniff up our inside, but we're able to hold him off once again as we're about to be halfway through this sprint race.
They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
We absolutely send a move down the inside of Lance Stroll. An inspired move. We saw the opportunity, the gap was open, and we absolutely took it down the inside. Up now, back again in P10. This is a yo-yo of a sprint race as we find ourselves behind Lewis Hamilton once more, who has the fastest lap of anybody currently. But on lap 4, that fastest lap is taken away from Hamilton, and P10 is under threat from ourselves. We're able to keep up with the cars just ahead because there is a slow kick Sauber of Nico Hulkenberg just ahead, who's holding Russell and Hamilton back and keeping us in the DRS crucially to prevent cars behind from overtaking. But towards the end of the lap, we lose that DRS to Hamilton, and we have Stroll and Lawson both looking to overtake. But late braking is able to keep us just in front for the time being. We are very good late on the brakes to keep maintaining our positions, and this is great work to stay inside the top 10 with only 1 lap left to go. We pick up the DRS.
Final lap of the race, final lap.
coming down the back straight now on the final lap. We have pressure from Lance Stroll and Liam Lawson. We have Lawson going past, Stroll trying to get past as well and barging us a little bit there. Again on late braking, we're able to stay ahead of the cars pressuring us, and it's Lando Norris who wins the sprint race here in China, and we are about to come across the line for an amazing P10 finish at the Chinese sprint.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So that wraps up the sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come this weekend. We've got qualifying and, of course, the Grand Prix.
And we end off the sprint in P10 with our teammate Sonny Hayes in P13. A good showing.
Welcome along to Shanghai, ladies and gentlemen, where it's Chinese Grand Prix weekend. But before we can race, we need to qualify. And who's going to take that coveted pole position? How will our grid line up? We're about to find out. Welcome to qualifying.
We start the actual qualifying now for the Grand Prix here in Q1, and we're looking for more of the same from the sprint. And we come through these first few corners very confident now. Plenty of laps to dial ourselves in for qualifying. As we come through these first few corners, very neat and tidy. Again, nice on the power as well. No kicks of oversteer as we climb the gears, using some ERS as well towards the end of the first sector. And it's not a purple first sector this time. We are only green, but it's still a decent start to the lap, of course. Heading down now towards the sweep-in left-right. As we come through it, we are getting ever more confident as we progress through the weekend. And it's only getting better and better for us. And being here with Pierce, I think it might be a good choice for the weekend, having our more experienced, higher-rated driver teammate, Hayes, to be in the Grand Prix by himself and hopefully, as a collective, get higher up the grid. That is the aim for us here at this weekend. Coming through now the banking. It's been another decent run. No oversteer. Another green personal best middle sector. Coming down the back straight now. And what we like to do in China, absolutely dump all of the ERS we can down this back straight. It is one of the longest on the calendar as we break deep now into the hairpin. Two important corners, that the hairpin and this final corner as well. We are low on ERS, but that doesn't matter. We come up towards the line now, and it's going to be P10 again for Pierce here in Q1. Our teammate Hayes, however, not so fortunate. We get through into Q2 for the first time officially in an F1 qualifying session, and our teammate ends up down in P19, which is a stark contrast to the sprint qualifying. Having finished in P10 in the opening session, we are setting our sights potentially on our first Q3 appearance of the season for Pierce. We were P10 in Q1. We need a lap of similar speed to ensure that we can do that here as well. And it looks like for the first time this season, that could be a realistic possibility that we get some points in a race. We're showing that this car is a lot more stable here. We had no pace in Australia, but we are still lacking that straight line speed that I spoke about from Australia. In the sprint, we were very susceptible down that back straight to the likes of the RB and the Aston Martin. So hopefully we're able to get as far up the grid as possible and then consolidate that position in the Grand Prix. It's been a good lap so far. Again, so far this weekend, we have another purple opening sector to the lap. So very good to start with a green personal best in the middle sector, trying to feather the throttle here through the banking onto the back straight and propel ourselves, dump all of this ERS and potentially have a spectacular lap here. This could be a moment in history for Apex GP with only 2 corners left to negotiate. We get it stopped in time and this is looking very rosy indeed, using what's left of the ERS now, and we are about to find out how we get on this run up towards the line, and it is P8. We're in P8. We're loving P8 so far this weekend. And with that, we find ourselves in our first Q3 session of the season. P8 for Joshua Pearce. Let's jump straight into Q3. This lap, guys, in Q3 was by far the best lap of our season so far. So I'm just going to play the audio of this lap just so you can hear the car and how on the limit, on the ragged edge we were to get this position on the grid. Enjoy. And after that lap, guys, I am ecstatic to say that we start P8 on the grid here in China, with Charles Leclerc getting his pole position here, and we are firmly starting in the points. So let's see if we can get them in the Grand Prix.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. Shanghai International Circuit then is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flat, open to the elements location, test their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Sainz, Verstappen, Yuki Tsunoda and Hamilton, Piastri, Pierce, Russell and Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Behrman, Doohan, Gabriel Bortoleto and Fernando Alonso, Albon, Lawson, Lance Stroll and Nico Hülkenberg, Hayes, Gasly, Ocon and Isaac Hadjar rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Our 11th team have made a real impact on the grid. They've got a brilliant driver lineup. Engineering-wise, they look very settled. Commercially, they've been massively impressive as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to have that understanding. Keep bringing the money in from a financial point of view. That's what keeps your team pushing forward. But as a team principal, you also need to have, my belief, is a good understanding of the technological side of this sport. It's so techy. You need to be, in a way, a bit of an engineer yourself.
For this race, we are going to be running a one-stop from mediums to hards. We're going to reduce the fuel slightly as well to make us slightly faster. And we are going to start on the mediums to try and gain some places at the start if we possibly can. And let's jump straight into this, guys. So P8, we're starting on the grid. We're alongside Oscar Piastri with Lewis Hamilton just ahead and the Mercedes boys just behind as well. It's 5 lights and away we go. Again, we get a great start, which is something of a trademark for us so far. And these softer medium tyres look like they worked an absolute treat. We climb from P8 up to P5 at turn 1. We now find ourselves behind Lando Norris. We, at this point, have a bloody nose. We are so high up, we don't know how we've done it. But P5 we are anyway. And we have Yuki Tsunoda following just behind us as well. But if you notice, guys, all of the cars that are currently around us are on the hard compound tyre. We are the only car in this top section of cars on the mediums, I believe. So that is why we got such a great start, and that will be very important for us that we can stick with these top cars on slightly faster tyres to keep in that DRS and hopefully start to pull a bit of a margin on those cars behind us that are similar speed. So hopefully we'll be able to do that, guys. We do have fast cars behind, of course. We've got Oscar Piastri now, who has come from behind Yuki Tsunoda, so he will be on us, I'm sure, with his teammate Lando Norris already starting to pull away ahead of us in P4. And it's been a fantastic first lap, a lap of dreams, gaining 3 places off the starting line, and we could even look for more, breaking late into the hairpin. We do close up a little bit onto the back of Norris, and as well Carlos Sainz on his hard compound tyres is somehow up on the podium at the moment. So amazing start as well for the Williams. Skipping on towards lap 2, we are still picking up that DRS, so that is crucial for our race. We remain within a second of Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz. Well, actually no, because Lando Norris is now, he has other ideas. He's trying to take P2 away from, I think that's Leclerc in P2. Carlos Sainz closing back up in P4. We are in P5, and Oscar Piastri is just starting to close up on us as well, with Antonelli on the fastest lap of the race. Now that has become very, very important for our race. Antonelli moves past Yuki Tsunoda up to P7. He is our closest challenger on the medium tyres like ourselves. We still have the DRS here on lap 3, but Oscar Piastri tries to make a late move and instead actually forces our hand to brake late around the outside of Carlos Sainz. Now we're up to P4. This is crazy. We are in P4 with Lando Norris just ahead of us as well, and this race is going amazingly for us at the moment.
Our teammate by 9.0 seconds.
We are now on to lap number 5 with nothing really happening at the moment. We are staying between Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, with us not looking like we're catching up to Norris, but Piastri is now starting to catch up to us at a rate of knots. We are now outside of the DRS to the cars ahead, but we've done extremely well to last for about a third of the race in DRS with those cars ahead. But now our tyres are starting to fade, and on lap 6 here, Piastri storms around the outside of us, and we do not decide to try and take that place back. We are looking for overall race time here for us to potentially stay inside the top 10. So we stick behind Piastri, and we do pick up DRS for this next straight. So this will help us out down the start-finish straight, maintaining that DRS, and it is our pit lap on the next time round. And our teammate Sonny Hayes is now in the pits on this lap, and we are in the pits on the following lap. We are staying close at the moment with Piastri. It is evident to see that we do have a lot of pace in sector 1, but it's the middle and specifically the end of the lap that the AI seem to pull away from us quite considerably. And we do now have Lewis Hamilton behind us, who has come past Antonelli, and he wants to get past us as well here down the back straight, and he does so. And we are about to come into the pit lane, so we stick behind Hamilton, and here we are, guys. We are coming into the pits for our one and only stop of the race onto the hard compound tyres. make sure we don't speed into the pits as well, and hopefully we have a great stop to stay ahead of the cars around us.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
We rejoin the race in P12, but of course there are cars ahead of us yet to pit who are all on the hard compound tyre, and
Okay, so we're
to our
leading
teammate
by 11.0 seconds. Okay, they're on fresh hards. They're in 20th place. And the time last lap, 1 minute 58.7.
that is not the news we want to hear as the team leader of Apex GP. Hayes not having a good run out here in the race, much better in the sprint. We pick up some free places from cars in the pit lane, and just like that, guys, we resume back up in P6. We have Lewis Hamilton and Oscar Piastri ahead of us on mediums, so they should be absolutely gone from us. But now we look to defending from Yuki Tsunoda, who is also on the medium compound tyres. He makes no time in dispatching of us as he sails straight round the outside on his mediums, and there's nothing that we can do. We are just trying to consolidate in the points. So we let Yuki go and we hope for some DRS for the start-finish straight. It's the two Mercedes cars that we are now looking at, with them both being on the same compound of tyre as us on the hard compound with 4 laps left to go. Points could be on the cards here. We're looking on the mini-map, and behind the Mercedes cars there is quite a considerable gap to... I'm not sure who the next car is in P10, but definitely could be P9 even if the two Mercedes get past us. So here we are, guys, and we do have Russell starting to close on us here. Down the back straight, Russell has a go, a bit like Tsunoda. We're trying to use all the ERS that we can, but it's still not enough. With the DRS, Russell comes swooping past, and that is that. George Russell now getting past as well down the back straight. A bit of deja vu from the Tsunoda overtake and the Hamilton overtake, but we are trying to sit nice and pretty in P8 for the moment. We pick up the DRS, and our goal is surely to stay ahead of the likes of Antonelli and Sainz now, especially Sainz coming up on medium tyres as well, and not quite sure what happened to him. We had Carlos Sainz as high as P3 at one point in the Grand Prix, but nevertheless still a good showing from him in the Williams car. And we now have Antonelli starting to get inside our DRS range, which isn't good, of course. We need to try and hold him off. He's going to be like a rocket down that back straight, I'm sure. We only have 2 laps left to go now. Here we tried to do something very, very cheeky. We actually let Antonelli through, forgetting where the DRS detection line is. We let Antonelli through, hoping for that DRS, but unfortunately for us, we have played it wrong. We did not pick up DRS here, as you will see in a second, from the back of Antonelli, and that just allows Antonelli to streak away from us there. So a big miscalculation from ourselves means that we now have dropped down to P9 behind both Mercedes, and with 1 and a bit laps to go, we are just under 2 seconds ahead of that Williams. So P9 becomes a very realistic target here that we are aiming for. And as you can see, guys, on the final lap, Charles Leclerc converts pole to a win here in China, and we are in fact by less than a second about to pick up our first points finish of the season here in 2025. It's Joshua Pearce about to come across the line for 2 points in a spectacular P9.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory, he wins!
A great display of dominance today, Crofty, by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them. and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
It's time to bring out the bubbly and spray it around. It's our podium celebrations. And who gets to take the top step of the podium? Yes, it is I, Leclerc, Charles Leclerc on top. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
What an amazing end to the Chinese Grand Prix. We pick up our first points of the season in P9, and we are going to see the ramifications of that in the championship. So in the drivers now, Charles Leclerc leads narrowly ahead of Piastri, Norris and Verstappen. So close there. And we are up to P12 with Pierce on 2 points. Hayes, unfortunately, currently on 0 points in 18th place in the championship. But in the constructors, we are currently in P8 now. So a fantastic result. And McLaren, Ferrari and Red Bull are the top 3 in the constructors at the moment. That is very close as well.
News. One of our research upgrades is complete. Once we finish researching an upgrade, we can start developing it for one or both of our cars. Head over to the development screen to get started.
Here we are then, guys. We're back in the menus and we are going to take some time to upgrade some components to our car. So we are going to go straight into the engineering department and see what we can do. We're still the slowest car by a distance on the performance comparison. But looking now into the research, we have one item completed, which means that we will be able to put an upgrade on a new part, which we are going to put that on the beam wing for the aero. And we're going to have a little look along to see. Yep, so we're going to develop that now. So that will be put in the pipeline as well. Fantastic. We advance on now, and we do have a activity from the engineering department that we're going to be doing here. So this is just an improved comms, and we're going to be able to upgrade another one now. So I think the main priority for us at the moment is to be upgrading the amount of parts that you can upgrade at a single time. So that's something that we'll be doing very shortly as well. We have an event for the corporate facility as well. So this is about a title sponsor visit, how much investment we would like to invest into this visit. And considering we have lots of money spare, I think it only makes sense to put a large investment into this visit to make us look better as a team, of course. So let's go ahead and do that. And back now to the calendar. We're going to advance on that as well to see our upgrades. And we do have an upgrade through on the aero. So back to engineering we go again. And with the development of the floor stiffening stays, that has been done. We'll do that again as well, because at the moment we can only upgrade one at a time. So who are we going to give this upgrade to for the time being? We are going to give it to... We end up giving it actually to Joshua Pierce, with the intention of speeding him up a little bit where he is lower rated than Hayes. But yeah, that's just the thinking behind that, guys. But if you did enjoy episode number 2 of the Team APX GP My Team Career Mode, please drop a like, comment and subscribe, and let me know where you think we will finish in the Japanese Grand Prix next time out for round number 3. We'll be back very shortly, guys, for that episode. Take care all. Peace.